beloveds, Karuna here, and today I'd like to look at forgiveness as it relates to complex PTSD and narcissism. So I like to think of complex PTSD like a virus. It was installed in you from a narcissist, from a person with very disordered thinking and a person who did not have the capacity to love you as you deserve to be loved, and also their behaviors were just not in alignment with love. So a loving behavior, as you've probably learned by now, is a behavior that allows you to feel warm and secure and accepted. Non-loving behaviors often feel judgmental, they feel domineering, and they'll feel very much conditional. So a narcissist, a person with this disordered thinking, installs this virus called complex PTSD in us, and they install it in us through the tactics that you may have learned by now: gaslighting, triangulation, domination, and also being threatened by your self-identity. In other words, the narcissist did not want you to develop your self-identity. Okay, so with that as a basis of our understanding, let's look at forgiveness, because forgiveness is highlighted in so many spiritual traditions. And as you know by now, I'm a lover of truth. I'm a lover of faith and spirituality and non-dogmatic faith, please. We get that, right? Non-dogmatic. And I'm a lover of faith that really has deep meaning for you. So many of the spiritual traditions emphasize forgiveness. The Christ said, forgive them, they know not what they do. In many of the Buddhist practices, there's a forgiveness practice. The Tao tradition, the Hawaiian tradition has ho'oponopono. So many of the great faiths emphasize forgiveness. And the reason is because forgiveness is so heavy to hold. Have you ever noticed that? You'll have such anger inside or such heaviness inside, and it's so hard to hold. And that's one of the reasons so many of the beautiful traditions encourage us to forgive. All right? Well, at some point in my own journey, I realized that forgiveness was ringing hollow with me, and I really wanted to understand why, because I couldn't understand. I would go through my Twitter feed, and I follow a number of beautiful, inspiring teachers, and I would get to a quote about forgiveness, and it would just be flat. I would just feel dead inside. And I thought, why is that? Why specifically, as it relates to complex PTSD and narcissism, why specifically is that ringing so flat in me? And the more that would ring flat, the more pressure I would put on myself. Well, I should forgive. I should align with these spiritual ideals. I mean, after all, if the Christ can do it, I can do it too, right? So it would be I would criticize myself. I should have forgiven by now. And then it would become heavier and heavier and heavier, because not only I had the heaviness of the anger, the non-forgiveness, right? That heaviness. But then I had the self-criticism. Well, you should be better than that. You should forgive. Well, I figured out why. Okay? The reason is when you have someone on the other end who's reaching out to you and saying to you on some level, in some words, I really miss you. I see you. I value our relationship. Is there something I can do to make it better? Those are such soothing, deeply soothing and healing words to hear, aren't they? With a narcissist, what do you think the odds are of that happening? Pretty tiny, aren't they? So with a narcissist, chances are there's no one on the other side asking to make amends. There's no one on the other side recognizing at all that they did anything out of step, out of alignment, anything wrong, anything to hurt you. In fact, the narcissist is likely to tell you the opposite. They're likely to be quite self-righteous, and they're likely to say, get over it. Oh, how many times have you heard that in one phrase or another? Get over it. And you're left on the other side with nobody home to talk to. Once again, you're not recognized. Once again, you're not valued. Once again, you've just been inflicted, right? There's this infliction of pain yet again. So what happens? In the area of forgiveness, it will feel like we are left yet again cleaning up the slop from the narcissist. We received this virus. The narcissist did not know how to behave in a loving way. They were emotionally abusive, perhaps physically abusive, sexually abusive, spiritually abusive. They were threatened by our identity. They did everything they could to diminish us. Now we have awareness about complex PTSD and narcissism, and we're left to grapple with this concept of forgiveness. And if we take that step without anybody being on the other side, it can feel like yet again, we are the one cleaning up the mess. And it feels like yet again, another burden to hold, right? This rang true in my own experience. And when I understood this, it then put me in the seat of power. That was important because when I understood, now wait a minute, I'm in the seat of power. I can choose to forgive or not. And if I don't forgive, on some level, that holds the other person accountable, whether they recognize it or not. That's not my responsibility. But if I choose from a place of power to not forgive, there's a clarity in that. And there's an accountability that holds another person accountable. And then I go on with my life. So that heaviness I described earlier starts to dissolve because you've made a clear choice. No, I'm going to choose not to forgive. I'm going to choose to hold another person accountable for their actions. And I'm going to move this way, right? And you can also choose to forgive in a myriad of other ways. I'm just encouraging us to look at forgiveness from the various arenas, the various ways, the various, angles. Look at forgiveness and see what seems most authentic for you. If you are that person that is so compassionate and so loving that you can forgive, truly, deeply forgive with the goodness of your heart, I'm all for that. Believe me, I'm all for that. And if you're another kind of person that says, you know what, I recognize those actions, I want to hold the other person accountable, I need not forgive, but I also need not hold the burden of that heaviness and anger, and I'm going to get on with my life, I'm all for that as well. So this comes down to a deeply personal decision and experience inside of you, whether you choose when, how, if you choose to forgive or not. All I'm trying to do in this video is help us better understand forgiveness and when it can ring hollow in relationship to the narcissist, right? So I'm just trying to share information with you and help you untie the knots to make your own decision, because then you're pulling up the roots for good and it's done. That's what I want to inspire, right? In my time with you. I do private sessions. Please be in touch for private sessions. You'll see how to get in touch with me at the end of this video. And also, as usual, if you have any topics you want to see covered on this channel, please put them in the comment section below. And I'm sending you so much love, so much support. We have a community here that's growing and we understand each other. Let's keep getting educated, become more aware together, and sending you so much love and support. I'll see you very soon.